Khabib's dad, Abdulmanap Nurmagomedov, passed away, and so that was a big thing. It was a big thing in the MMA world, in the UFC world, and for me, it definitely hit me in a way that these types of, like, I don't know what you want to call them, sort of like celebrity deaths. Some of them are like, oh, whatever, like it's really bad, really sad, whatever, and other ones just kind of hit you in a way that it's exceedingly sad. So for me, yeah, there's something about their relationship that you knew about Khabib and his dad's relationship, right? You saw it so many times in videos. I just was watching a video over the weekend where Khabib is basically saying to the reporters, "I just want to talk about my dad."
It's a great video.
Did you see that one? Yeah, and the reporter's like trying to ask him questions. No, I want to talk about my dad. And she's like, "So what is the best thing about, like?"
No, he's like, "What do you miss most about being away from Dagestan?" He's like, "Missing my father."
Yeah, my father. Yeah. And then there's the bit where he fights Conor McGregor. There's the chaos after the match. He goes flying out of the cage. After that, he is being interviewed, and he basically says, I'm going to have to answer to my father when I get home. I understand that. So there's this connection, this deep connection that really resonated, and it hit me in a way that, we've never met Khabib, we've never met his dad, but we could sense their relationship, and so you could sense how much Khabib is in pain right now.
Do you know what is interesting is, I think also because you and me have a father-son relationship and we love MMA in the way that we do, I think that probably hit both of us in a specific way. And something that I thought about early when we started this podcast, interestingly, is that we would at some point start doing, like, I love the idea of doing father-son combinations on here with us as well, like having guests that are father and son as well. I kind of thought about that, and one of the ones that I thought about is at some point, if we got big enough, if we could pull them, get Khabib and his father on, would be really cool, because then it's two father-son dynamics, all of that would be very interesting. So obviously there would be language barriers and things like that we'd have to try and work around, but I definitely had considered at some point that we might want Khabib and his father on, and now we can. And that's, well, I mean, we can still have Khabib and we can still honor his father, but we can't have both of them, and that's really sad, man. That made me really sad, because I was like, I would have loved to have, again, experienced that dynamic in person, like felt that love. I also saw a video of Daniel Cormier that Daniel Cormier posted. I think it was on Instagram, and it's basically him talking about Khabib's father and how he was in the gym. And there's a video of him rolling with one of DC's young wrestling, like, kids that he's bringing up, kind of thing. And he's doing some wrestling with him, and he was just like, even at the old age that he is, he was happy to get in there and teach the kids and play around with them and be like, and like, just being a good presence in the gym, and being, again, he's doing this with American kids in America, spending time with them, and again, the impact he had in Dagestan as well. I know that he's helped hundreds of kids out there and given them, like, direction, especially young boys, and given them mad direction. So that's really amazing.
Yeah, I just was thinking about the Dagestan. So the little bit of context, I don't know a lot of it, with Abdulmanap, is he was a military man. He had 3 kids. So Khabib is the middle son, I believe. So he has a younger son, then Khabib, and then a younger daughter, rather. So 3 kids. But so he got them all sort of into martial arts, and then his influence started expanding throughout Dagestan, and it is just known that he is considered
one of the best sambo wrestling coaches in the world.
Yeah, and just also, I mean, you could tell he was so influential in this part of the world, and I can imagine how how devastated people are. I watched another video on actually everyone paying tribute to Khabib's dad, and it's it's a very Muslim orientated ceremony, and it's just it's very touching, just very touching. So anyway, from us to Khabib, and to your family, and to the greater MMA community in Dagestan, may your dad rest in peace.
Condolences all around. In terms of something else that I want to also bring up with that is he, like, in terms of his influence within Russia and stuff, I'm not sure if you've ever realized this, but I'm lucky that I play So for people who don't know, I like to play a game called Counter-Strike Global Offensive on my computer sometimes. And a lot of that game's population is Russian, actually. So a large proportion of the people that I play with and spend my time with if I am playing the game are Russian people. So often the game will start and your team will start talking to you, and it'll start with everyone being like, Shalom Aleichem, like everyone gets straight into it. And it's like, it's a very interesting, beautiful community in that way. But also something that's funny is every time I speak to Russian people, I like to test something. I actually go to them. Do you guys know Khabib? Do you know who Khabib is? And more recently, since the news broke, I've been asking Russian people if they've heard about Khabib and his father and the passing. And like 90% of the Russian people I talk to on Counter-Strike are like, oh my God, it's so sad. Or like, yes, of course I know Khabib, great fighter, amazing wrestler, like blah, blah, blah. Like, they are a huge presence in Russia. And like, this is why I talk to a lot of Russian people on there, and 90% of them know who he is at least.
Yeah.
So yeah, massive condolences.
I think the other thing really quick is now we can fully contextualize the timeline of Khabib's actions leading up to the Tony Ferguson fight. So there's a lot of criticism leading up to the Tony Ferguson fight. I think it was like a couple weeks before the fight, COVID starts really ramping up, and all of a sudden we hear Khabib has left, right? He's left his team in California, and he's gone back. I think he went to the UAE, and then he went to Dagestan. And everyone's like, why and how and how does this happen? And I was even very critical of like, why the hell would he leave now? And I think he made some sort of comment like, don't blame me. This is about COVID. This is about coronavirus, right? This is not about Khabib. This is about me, essentially getting back to my family. And so at that point, I'm not sure where in the timeline Abdulmanap was sick or not, but the great news, I think the silver lining in a really, really dark cloud is that he made a choice to be there. The choice, to be back with his dad and to be, at least to have some time with his father. And I'm not sure how that played out, how much they were communicating or not, but another, hand up to Khabib saying like, dude, that was the right decision. Family first always, and that's something that you'll be able to look back on and always have in your mind, like, I made the right decision.
Yeah, 100%. I agree with that. I know exactly.
Yeah.
I saw a couple of articles about that, and just 100% you made the right decision. Yeah. We're chugging through. We're loving doing this stuff for you guys. If you want to support us, if you want to make sure that we can keep getting, better quality set, better quality lights, make the filming better.
Bigger batteries for the camera.
Bigger batteries for the camera.
Yes!
All that kind of stuff. You can do that by just liking, following the page, and subscribing to the YouTube channel. That is what really makes a difference to us.